Hello everyone on YouTube, how's everyone doing? So, you haven't seen a video from me in a while because I've been working on this project. This was a bit of a challenge, a lot of stuff I had to do by hand and the scales I had to redo. I had a little hurdle I had to jump through to get that done. And I just want to go over it real quick. This is a design sent to me by a customer with a few modifications, but it's very close to what he drew out. It's a Dadao shape. You could tell by pretty much this part here, Chinese Dadao. Front heavy, or a forward balance, with a curved, long handle, and with a menacing looking pummel. So hopefully I'm not moving the camera too fast, but I'll do a little pan by. I'm hoping the light doesn't interfere with this. So that's the scale material. I'll zoom in a little bit. It's African Wenge. And I found a way to get that tiger's eye effect in the light brown area. So I'm just going to move it slightly. And maybe the light will cooperate with me. It's not something you can capture on with a picture too well. Maybe the other side will look a little better. Sorry about the shaky camera. The finish looks shiny and polished, but it's actually a little on the rough side. Of course, for grip. Finger choil. It has a fuller. Most of that work was done by hand. It has a swedge to lighten the weight. It has the cutouts that the customer wanted. The sweep part of the blade where you chop, another term of it is the point of percussion, is right over here. Let's pan back a little bit. On most blades, most swords if you will, with your typical tapered tip, the point of percussion is a few inches down, quite a few inches down. That's the spot where you get the most chopping and less vibration, most power. And because of this added weight over here, the point of percussion is actually in this area. And how you find that out is obviously number one by chopping, or number two, you hold onto the handle and you pound on the blade, and wherever it vibrates the least, or perhaps none at all, is where your point of percussion is. You'll have one there and one in the handle. So when you hold the handle, say in the thinnest part here up front, not up front here, but over here, what would that be? 1/3 down. Point of percussion is here. Point of balance, or center of balance, is about there, in this area there. Let's pan back again. It has a front swedge. It's got an aged look. It's got an aged look. To protect the edge, I put in a nail polish, and I gave it this pattern, a random kind of pattern to it. And let me put the camera down for a second and turn this beast around. I haven't weighed it, but I think the last time it was a little more than 4 pounds. But for a piece of steel that measures, I think, 0.28 inches thick, that's not too bad. And that's because of the fuller on both sides, and because of the swedge and the cutouts, and the fuller and the swedge in the front. Let me see if I can get that tiger's eye effect. Let me see if I can zoom in, because I see it in this area here. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but this is not what your typical African Wenge looks like. I don't have a piece here, do I? Yes, I do. I think I'm going to keep how I finish the wood secret. Here's a piece of the wood, which I used to cut out. And when you add linseed oil or tongue oil to it, which most people do, you get 2 shades pretty much, more or less. You get the light shade and the dark shade, and the wood darkens. Here you get a much better distinguished more distinction between the grains. You get more color variability. It is, in a sense, stabilized. And I could have polished it off, but I didn't want to make it slippery. Alright, so let's go on to a sharpness test. Now, for a sword to cut phone book paper is a little excessive. So just to field those comments, when the blade gets used, it gets a little dull. The owner does not need to maintain it that sharp. So with a little use, it gets down to what you might consider a typical sword sharpness. So right now it's a little excessive. I'm sure that's what he would want. But you know, with use, you don't need to maintain it this sharp. Let's see if it cuts phone book paper. I hope I got that. Oh, I probably didn't get that in camera. Let's try that again. This is very awkward. I can't. This is very awkward. Ah, great. It's a little humid in here. I'm in New Jersey. If you follow the weather, we just had a little heat wave with high humidity, keeping me from working in the shop. Well, you can see it's cutting phone book paper, and this is the only piece I have with me. Okay, so it is cutting phone book paper. All right. What else is there to talk about? I guess that's it, guys. So I hope you like it. African Wenge, first time working with it. The customer wanted, originally we talked about having a red and black G10. And a small calculation error in the amount of material I needed. I couldn't find pieces long enough. This is about 14 inches, so I couldn't find pieces long enough to stack. He wanted red and black. And I did buy some, but it wasn't enough, and I couldn't find any more to finish the project. So we talked about it, and I gave him a you know, presentation grade, if you will. Turn that light off. Presentation grade, if you will, African Wenge. I think it came out really nice. And if I have the making of clips, I'll put them on right after this, and maybe the picture of the concept drawing. That's about it. That's all I got to say. It was definitely a tricky grind to do. It's shallow here, and as the blade widens, so does the grind line. So that was a trick to pull off. And these were tricky to do. All right, guys. Have a good one.